Hi everyone, today on Practically Designing we're looking at how, why, and when to outline your fonts in InDesign. So first of all, what is outline fonts? You might have also heard people say convert to vectors, flatten, or convert to curves. Well, first we need to know what a font is. The digital world has been using the word font wrong for a while now. What they actually mean is typeface. A font refers to any typeface in a certain point size or a certain cut. So 12-point Helvetica, that's a font. 11-point Helvetica, that's a font. 11-point Helvetica Neue Ultralight Condensed Oblique, that's a font. If you want to learn more about the history of fonts, the nomenclature, and a little bit about font type, leave a comment and maybe I'll make that video next. Every font is just a little piece of software on your computer that tells whatever program you're using, could be Microsoft Word, Adobe InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop, even your browser, what each glyph, and glyphs are just the letters and the symbols like ampersand or digraphs, which is the OE diphthong that you see in old-timey word for encyclopedia or Oedipus Rex. It's a piece of software that tells the program what those glyphs look like. Without that piece of software, without the font software, your display program will not accurately show the document. It will either leave those little rectangular boxes or it will leave question marks, but more commonly it just substitutes default font, which in Adobe is Myriad Pro. Now technically this should never happen because InDesign exports to PDFX by default and PDFX always embeds fonts. But some fonts have DRM protection that won't allow them to be embedded. And other fonts you downloaded from a janky web page, they're no good, they're poorly written, and they're just never going to work no matter what you do. Another less common problem is that there are multiple versions of the same font. So you've used Rockwell Linotype and the printer has Rockwell Monotype, and when you go to print, either the user or the system has to select which one it goes with. And if they're just ever so slightly different, you could have the word tiramisu and there's a backwards accent on the U and nobody notices, and you print 1,000 copies and it goes out across the country. So the solution takes us to create outlines. All creating outlines really means is that instead of using the font to tell the program what all the letters look like, you convert all the letters to tiny little drawings. The tiny little drawings are just made out of Bezier curves, which are the things you do with the anchor and the handle and all the little squiggly lines when you're drawing in Illustrator. The drawback to this is that if you have a long document, the file size will balloon because of all these tiny little drawings. Now, normally if you have a menu or a 2-3 page document, it's no problem and you don't need to worry about it. The bigger problem with convert outlines is that you tend to lose style. So you can lose bullet points, you can lose underlines, and you can lose font color. And nobody wants that, which is why right now I'm going to show you how to do it quick, how to do it easily, and how to get it right every time. Let's take a look.
Okay, so we've got our sample document open here, and as you can see I have a nice paragraph rule, and we have some bullets, and let's see what happens when we turn this text box into outlines. So I'm going to select the box. I could either hit Command-Shift-O, or I could go to Type, Create Outlines. And you can see, for some reason, it removes our paragraph rule, and it removes our bullets. Now the actual reason is because now that we've turned this into outlines, it's not a text, and the bullets and the underlined paragraph rule were part of the style, and without the text anymore, there's nothing to apply the style to, so they go away. I'm just going to hit Command-Z to undo that. And we're going to do a different way now. This way is a little bit smarter. If you actually select the text, then you go Type, Create Outlines, you'll see it's a little bit smarter. We're in outlines now, but it's also figured out that this was text and it kept our style. Now the problem is I'm going to hit Command-Z to undo all this so we can go back. And yeah, we're still text. Now the problem is, if you have a more complicated document with multiple text boxes, it's not really easy to go to every single one and do it that way. You just want to send the document out to print and know that you're good to go. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. We're going to create a new transparency preset. And transparency is just, it tells it how to flatten the document so that what you see is what you get. And creating outlines is just one other way actually of flattening a document, sort of. So let's go to Edit, Transparency Flattener Presets. Let's go to New. Okay, we're going to call it Flatten Type. Or actually, let's call it Create Outlines. Now, don't worry about this. Put that 300 and click this little box here. Convert all text to outlines. Now hit OK. And we can see we have a new flattener preset. Great. Let's hit OK again. Now, one catch of this way of doing it is that you need to have a transparency on every single page. So the easiest way to do that is go up to your master pages and open them up. I went Pages, then I double clicked into our master, and I'm just going to create a tiny box here. Click it, and I'm going to make it, doesn't really matter what size, but let's make it 1p by 1p. Alright, and turn the stroke off. Now, fill it with paper or whatever color you want. Just set the transparency to 1% and put one on each page. I'm going to put one right here down in the margin. Then I'm going to go over to the other page and I'm going to hit Command Option Shift V to paste it in the same place on the other page. And there we go, we're good. Now, we'll go back to the document. You can see all our text is still alive, as you can see. Now first we're just going to do a regular export, and we're going to see what happens. So we're going to go to Export or Command E. I'm just going to call it Test, and we're going to save it on the desktop. I'm going to Save, and we're just going to leave all the default settings here, and we're going to see what happens when we export. So export, here it is. And as you can see, this is still, I can highlight this. This is still text. So that's bad. You know, there's no guarantee I'm going to be able to send that out to print. So let's close this and let's export again. But this time we're going to change our setting to, we're going to go down to Advanced, and then we're going to come over to our transparency flattener, and we're going to pick the one that we created called Create Outlines. Now we're going to export it. We're going to come over, and when I click and drag, now you can see I can't select just one word or one letter, and if I try to use the lookup, it doesn't see it as text anymore because it's no longer text. It's all outlines, and this cannot get screwed up. If you send this to the printer, it will work every single time. So let's recap. All you do is go to Edit, Transparency Flattener Presets, New, use these settings, convert text to outlines, make sure that's clicked, name it whatever you like, go over to your master pages, create a transparent object. It can be a teeny tiny square, it can be 1 pixel by 1 pixel. File, export, go to Advanced and pick your new preset and you're done. Okay, thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed this, if you learned something, please like and subscribe. Other than that, don't forget, you are practically a designer.